Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 6. So of course The Flash was off this week, unfortunately, as the Arrowverse sort of the Arrowverse shows sort of work around lining up for Crisis on Infinite Earths, which of course we started getting promotional material for this week, which got a lot of us excited, and we should expect much more of that over the next couple of weeks. So people have been asking for a full trailer. I'd expect that in like about 2 weeks. Now in this video we're going to be going over mostly stuff connected to episode 7 for this season, which will serve as part 1 of a two-part mid-season finale and conclusion to the Bloodwork arc for this season, and also as like a sort of a setup and I guess like last preparation for Crisis, which will start straight afterwards. So do expect some pretty crazy stuff to happen in these episodes in regards to the Flash versus Bloodwork stuff, but also at the end of episode 8, expect something massive Crisis related to set up the following week, but we should also expect some potential setup to whoever the villain will be in the back half of the season as well. So get ready for that, because a lot's going to be going down. I know you could bring up the debate, like, should they really be setting up the back half if Crisis is going to happen and things might change? I guess they have to. I don't think they have to, but I don't think it matters if they do, if that makes sense at the same time. Like, a bit of seed planting isn't a bad thing. But first we're going to go over the synopsis for episode 7, which is otherwise entitled The Last Temptation of Barry Allen Part 1. So with those that have logic, I guess, you could guess that episode 8 is going to be called The Last Temptation of Barry Allen Part 2. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know all of your opinions down there in the comments section down below. I actually do have a question for you guys for the video. What are your overall thoughts of The Flash Season 6 so far? You know, usually I'm not the biggest fan of, like, you know, giving something a rating until it's done, or at least the majority of it's done. But I am interested to see what you guys are thinking of the season as a whole so far, because usually I just ask you guys what you think of an individual episode rather than, you know, the entire season. So what are you thinking of the season so far? You can give me a detailed response or just give me like a rating. So like 8 out of 10, 6 out of 10, apartment 4 out of 10, whatever you want to let me know in the comments. Interested to see what you guys have to say and what you're thinking. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, you just want to show your support, why not drop a like on it to do that? As Barry Allen stands on the threshold of his impending death in Crisis, his convictions are tested when the monstrous Dr. Ramsey Rosso infects the Flash with a mysterious hallucinogenic contagion. Meanwhile, reporter Iris West Allen uncovers a vast conspiracy. So firstly, with the Ramsey Rosso hallucinations and just him affecting Barry, that's pretty much how this episode is set up. Like, it pretty much, and we'll highlight that when we go over the promo images, but essentially most of this episode will be in Barry's head, or at least like a fake reality, if you want to call it, that Ramsey is conjuring up for Barry. It's going to be interesting to see like what Ramsey's necessarily going for, whether it's, because when we're going over the set photos for this episode, it did seem that maybe Ramsey was showing Barry his like perfect life, and maybe like Ramsey might be able to show him something, and this could be that, you know, that last temptation of Barry Allen thing for the title. That whole title for the episode is a reference to The Last Temptation of Christ. I think that's the movie, which I think is actually a Martin Scorsese movie. That's just funny because of all the comic book stuff that he's been sort of like knocking down of late. But it will be interesting to see, like, I guess the lengths in which Ramsey goes to like push Barry to whatever the point he's trying to push him to, because we only get a taste of it. But it's definitely going to mess with Barry mentally. It's going to be a hard episode for Barry, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, as I said, we'll come back to that in the promo images in a second. But obviously the other second thing in that synopsis is the thing about Iris, where essentially she's uncovering a vast conspiracy. But I guess the big question is, like, what could this conspiracy be? Because it's pretty vague in regards to not only what it could be, but where it's placed. Now, they did talk about Iris's like journalism arc in interviews. I think it was specifically Eric Wallace, but Candace Patton might have talked about it. I don't know if she talked about this, you know, point in particular, but they were talking about Iris and them using her journalism arc to really bring in new meta storylines for the season, and like dive into the deep and the underground of Central City, if you want to call it. And that's where we get new storylines, and we sort of got that like even earlier on when we got like Allegra brought in, and it was like Cecile bringing a story, like a certain thing with the meta to her, and then they dive deep into that. That's like a small example of it, but it seems that, you know, what we're going to get with Iris this season is just more of that, but maybe even, I don't like to use the term grittier, but, you know, it'll go more underground, deeper into the underground of Central City, and maybe uncover some dark secrets of Central City, if you want to call it as well. But another thing that this could be hinting at is maybe the black hole thing, which could be maybe the vast conspiracy of Central City. Maybe they have Central City city under control, or maybe a lot of the like elected officials are under black hole's control. For those wondering, what the hell is black hole, Pagey? Are you smoking something? Black hole is actually the organization that took Allegra's cousin, who is of course Ultraviolet, who we will see in the next episode of The Flash, and we saw in episode 2, who's like that assassin. They do mention she's like an assassin of an organization. They don't name the organization, but in the picture that we saw of the person that was picking her up, he's wearing the black hole logo from the comics. So black hole is that organization. I guess this brings up the point of whether they're going to be the villains for the back half, or they're like associated with the villain for the back half. Maybe they conjure up the villain, whether it is, you know, someone like Negative Flash, Red Death, Godspeed, something along those lines. Maybe they're the ones that conjure it up, or at least have an effect on that villain getting more powerful. It wouldn't surprise me if they used Iris for that, just because, well, for a couple of reasons. One, because of the journalism thing and diving deeper into something that's a good story for her. But also, two, in the Rebirth arc, you know, for a bit of it, I won't spoil it, but Iris is actually an agent of Black Hole. So there could be like little Easter eggs happening there with the fact that Iris will be involved in that storyline. But that's for us to wait and find out, I guess. But in regards to the promo images, pretty much all of them, actually, I think, do all of them? I'm just quickly scrolling through. Every single one of them, apart from 2, take place in Barry Allen's apartment. Now, most of them are with Ramsey Rosso himself, aka Bloodwork. Now, you can see at this point, he doesn't have any of the veins. This should really indicate to you that this is all mental. The fact that he doesn't have his Bloodwork, like, veins, you know, the black veins, or really dark veins that he has. So this is all mental at the moment. Are they in Barry Allen's apartment? Did they ever have stairs? It's definitely their apartment. Oh, yeah, I guess it has the upstairs loft area. Yeah, ignore me being an idiot. I just saw the stairs and I was like, was there ever stairs? But anyway, so this is all mental. This is 100% all mental. So it's going to be interesting to see, like, I guess, how he's getting into Barry's head and sort of like driving a bit, you know, cuckoo, if you want to call it. But pretty much Barry isn't smiling in any of the pictures. Like, really, he is not smiling in any of them. He's definitely a bit distraught, and he knows something's wrong. So I'm excited to see what they do here, because this is looks like it's only going to be like maybe a 5-minute portion of the episode, and the rest is going to be elsewhere. And we know there's some other scenes because of filming for the episode, but I'm interested to see what Ramsey does specifically to get through to Barry. But one of the things he's probably going to use is, well, Barry's mother. So I told you guys that Nora Allen was in episode 7 a while ago. She was on like the cast list on set. So this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that watches my videos. But others were surprised online because they played the rookie error and didn't watch a Pagey video. Like, seriously? What's wrong with you? But this is Nora Allen. This isn't Joan Garrick. If it was, she'd have the grey hair and the glasses. And as I said, on the cast list, she was actually put down as Nora Allen. She wasn't put down as Joan Garrick or Joan Williams or anything. Could obviously be a multiverse version, but seeing this is all mental, it's definitely a vision of Barry's mother. Now, this was just playing to the whole like last temptation sort of thing that Barry's going through. Obviously, this could, you know, be heavily hinted or heavily linked to Crisis as well. But I'm interested to see how they use Nora's appearance in this episode, because whenever they bring her in, it's for a reason. They don't usually waste Nora Allen in an appearance. So I'm sure this will be a hard moment in the episode to watch, very emotional, but I'm sure it'll be worth it, because it's pretty rare that they waste moments like this with the character. And the other 2 images are of Barry in Joe's house. Now, it's hard to tell whether this is real or fake. You can just tell that Barry's very emotional, so I'd say maybe it's real. I know why you'd fake being Joe. Like, you think you'd bring someone else in, like maybe his dad or something, like, you know, Henry Allen. So I think you'd have to say this is real, but it looks like it's a very emotional scene. And once again, we already had that really, really emotional Barry and Joe scene from episode 4, I think it was, which was a very good scene, arguably one of the best we've had this season. So I'm looking forward to this scene, because Barry and Joe scenes are always, they're just very, very good. Now, in episode 8, the following episode, we should get the Negative Flash stuff, where we see Barry become the Negative Flash from the comics. It might happen at the end of this episode. If anything, it will, because they might use it as a cliffhanger where, like, maybe Barry fully crosses over, and that might be the point that, you know, Ramsey's going for, maybe to fully push Barry to the point where he would like accept the darkness, if you want to call it, that Ramsey's putting upon him, and he becomes the Negative Flash. And then we see a lot of that for episode 8 before Barry overcomes that with his heroic tendencies. But maybe Negative Flash at the end of this episode, they set it up, but we're definitely going to get it in at least episode 8. And there's going to be some cool things revolved around Bloodwork in episode 8 as well, which I can't wait to see. And the last thing I want to mention in this video is a congratulations to Danielle Panabaker, who plays Caitlin Snow, aka Killer Frost on the show. Haven't done a Flash-specific video, I think, since this came out. Or if I did, I had made it before the news came out, and then it got uploaded after. But she is actually pregnant now, so she's going to be having a baby. That's what being pregnant means, obviously, if anyone needed that information. Now, people have been asking me about if she's leaving the show. From what it sounds like in regards to when she's supposed to give birth, it'll be after The Flash finishes filming. The only issues that we're going to have is that in the back half of this season, especially in like the last, I'd say 6 to 8 episodes, you're probably going to notice that they're probably going to shoot Caitlin from pretty much the shoulders up, or have her wearing very loose clothing to hide her, her baby bump and just the pregnancy in general. Because for those asking, they're not going to intertwine a Killer Frost getting pregnant story arc or Caitlin getting pregnant. They're not going to do that. So they'll just film her differently to incorporate her in. And I think she's probably going to miss maybe the first 3 or 4 episodes in next season. I don't think they wouldn't write her off the show, because she's not going to miss that much of the show through maternity leave and stuff like that. If she was giving birth at a different time, then maybe. But how it's lined up, she'll maybe miss like 3 or 4 episodes of next season, and they might film something at the end of this season to use at the beginning of next season, just to explain her absence for those opening handful of episodes. So yeah, congratulations to Danielle. And for anyone asking about her leaving, that's pretty much the answer that I'm going to give, and I think it's the correct answer. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like and it shows support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on what we went over, what you're looking forward to most in this episode. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.